The Second American Civil War. To those not in the know, it might seem like the crisis in the United States came out of nowhere, but experts agree that this was a civil war years in the making. Since the collapse of the New York Stock Exchange in 1925, the economy of the United States has been sluggish and mired in deep recession. Now, the United States has collapsed into an all-out civil war between the supporters of the federal government, the combined Syndicates of America, the right-wing American Union State, and the remnants of the democratic rule of the Pacific States of America. Volunteers are pouring in from around the world to support one faction or another, with some characterizing the bitter ideological conflict as simply part of a wider global clash of ideas. So as a faction, it's only the United States right now that has more factories than we do. Do we have any supplies? No. And we're rather low on convoys again already. Need to watch that number like a hawk.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that just... damn. No going north. It's just straight up become part of Canada. Alright. Well, in that case, I'm going to put you guys as part of the offensive. Go in there. Absolutely, France. I would love to have your volunteers over here. Canada seizes New England. In response to the outbreak of the Civil War in America, Canadian forces have marched into New England and seized control of the entire lightly defended region. While they claim this is in the interest of safeguarding innocent lives from the spread of chaos, more cynical members of the government suggest the Canadians are guarding their weak eastern flank in preparation for a possible war with the Syndicates of America should it prove victorious. Either way, it's clear that Canada has no interest in consulting either the American government or its people, and our sovereignty has been utterly violated. So I can just straight up declare war on them, which I think is a terrible idea right now. Or we can say, I'm back for you. We're watching you. We know what you did.
Ready to move. All in.
And we are taking more and more factories, which is glorious. And I think at this point, those factories are just going to be purely about gun production. The more of those we produce, the better.
Under fire. Commands. Under fire.
Oh, no you don't.
Orders.
The Second International Congress. And the Korean Uprising. The rise of Japan in recent decades massively upset the status quo in East Asia. With the annexation of Korea in 1910 to the land of the rising sun was seen as indicative of the new order of the mainland. However, Japanese power is not limitless, and the colonization efforts in Korea, Manchuria, Formosa have led to great resentment against their occupiers, leading in this instance to open revolt in the Korean peninsula. Our British comrades confirmed their readiness to host the Second International Congress in London. It is time for the combined syndicates to confirm its participation. Yes. I don't see why this is ever an option. Like, why would you do that?
Ready.
Ah, we got some of the new guys. Cool. I'm going to say let's get the New York City recruits. Because I know we can hold on to that. Lend-Lease from Nicaragua? Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Move out. Commands. Ready.
Really? We didn't leave anyone in Baltimore? Guys.
Ready to move. Ready to move. Listen up. Ready, sir. Attention.
Canada seizes Alaska. The Canadian government seized Alaska because of security concerns. Troops have marched into Alaska and the government of Alaska has welcomed them. With the ongoing civil war, there is nothing we can do to prevent this. But we shall not forget it either.
Ready. Go, go, go.
Alright, so we've seized this northern part, which is good, and now we just need to keep pushing out. New England has been split out. That's fine. I'm fairly sure I can collapse and destroy the area around Washington, which is going to be a real detriment to the USA's ability to continue fighting.
Yes, sir.
We'll take Baltimore back again soon enough.
All in.
And now we can begin an attack on Washington.
Move out. Ready.
Directive 10, Redistribution of Material Assets. Now that the revolution has begun, we can decide what must be done to the bourgeoisie. The IWW proclaim we confiscate their wealth and redistribute it to the people immediately. The up-and-coming vanguard has called for their immediate arrest and execution as well, citing the fate of Vladimir Lenin as an example of a revolution defeated by leniency. The SPA members belonging to the depreciated AFL, along with several loyal progressives, have sought life over death, asking the Central Committee to only expropriate what is necessary for war and keep the materialist constituents happy. Have I done an AUS run? Yes, I have. Their wealth and lives are ours. Syndicalism, totalism gains popularity. Or syndicalism loses a bit and we lose some war support. No, I'm going to do this.
Ready to move.
Crossing over here, which is annoying. Don't do that. The Second Continental Army is completed. So a gun in hand gives us infantry technology upgrade or research bonus on weapon upgrades. How far are we actually from infantry upgrades? We would need to do that and then we can get the M1 Thompson. Hold on, do we have a tech that gives us M1 Thompsons anyway? There. Political officers gives us more mobilization speed, which we don't really need. Oh, but that requires both. Well, we want Smedley Butler to become stronger, so we're going to take the gun in hand. What more could a man need than a gun? Why, a better gun, of course. Massed infantry dominates our army, so we must ensure they are as well armed as possible. Is it on YouTube? I think so. I'm not 100% sure, though.
Orders. Commands. Move out.
Really, really chaotic. Hopefully the Greens can hold on everywhere they need to hold on. Make sure we keep troops assigned to it. Costa Rica has joined the Entente. Abandoned by a trusted ally in Washington, San Jose was forced to look north in order to ensure its own protection from its more predatory neighbors.
Taking aim! Listen up! Listen up!
And here come the Common New France's units. Excellent. Alright, so we're winning in many of those battles. It's just going to be Washington that's going to be a real pain. But if I surround Washington with enough troops, then it's going to be less of a pain. Here come the French. Don't know exactly where they're going to go, though. The 1937 Spartacade. The first Spartacade's opening ceremony was held in Edinburgh and attended by dignitaries and athletes from around the socialist world. The British team carried the torch, the French team the hammer, and the other teams carried the pieces of the cogs to the location where they would be assembled. When placed together, they formed the international symbol of syndicalism. Democracy prevails in the Philippines. Having just achieved independence from the United States, the Philippines faced today perhaps one of the most serious challenges any new country could face. Inspired by the Combined Syndicates of America and the Baratia Commune, disgruntled armed officers marched to Manila to support the rebelling peasants and workers. They lost.
Ready, sir!
Ah, the glorious French allies come to our aid once more. We'll party like it's 1776 all over again.
Attention! Ready, sir!
So I want this one to win before this one does, so that they'll be surrounded and separated. Then we can kill them at our leisure. Oh dear, that's not good. You just died. I just watched you die.
Orders!
I'm just going to give you orders from here. And all of you I have currently selected can go and enact that order. I just want a general advance. While I deal with the attack on Washington itself. And in fact,
Ready, sir!
let's see if we can't take a bit more of this territory down here. Like so.
Call in!
90, so we'll take that soon enough, then we can hit them from even more angles.
Attention! Ready! Pushing them back, sir!
There we go. Good. So I want all of you lot attacking this and destroying it.
Ready!
Basically achieving this just through sheer weight of numbers.
Keep your
Actually,
distance!
you probably want to attack them just to stop them from recovering their organization.
Call in!
They're moving north? No. But taking Frankfurt would allow us to get us around on them. Now, what would it cost to start training some motorized divisions? More than we have. But we can make our intentions known. Let's queue up like 5 of them. Because we'll get them eventually.
Ready, sir!
It's just going to take a while.
Call in! Commands!
Last thing I want is for these guys to be able to reinforce over here. Which is why I'm hitting this with everything I have. Also, these guys are just finished, which is excellent. So, you're going to be new army. You are going to be deployed down here against the AUS. Then once you've arrived, we can basically switch you out for the other army. You should probably also be fairly defensive. Although Milton Wolf is just one of those characters that you just know is going to get loads of experience. Right, and that also means that I can go for the next set of units, which is going to be Michigan, which seems pretty secure. Outcome of the Spartacade. We've got a few medals in the events, but not enough for the team to be the winner. It's fine. This Marine is extremely stubborn. He's certainly taking a while. Yeah, I know I have some bonuses to take against them. The problem is I can have one event going at once, and I would, or rather I don't have the political power, and I need to save that political power for other things. And the command power. As the revolutionary struggle continues, a number of women have joined the armed struggle in accordance with the socialist ideals of gender equality. While not all are accepted by the male comrades, it has not deterred many from fighting and dying in the revolutionary. Manuals have been distributed to recruiters on how to effectively organise women detachments, of which militias can teach the military a thing or two. Second Internationale. The first Syndicalist Internationale, held in Paris, dealt with the spreading of the ideology overseas, supporting syndicalist movements and strengthening the ties between the existing syndicalist nations, and thanks to the gathering success, the Second Internationale has been called to be held in London. And now the attack on Washington is actually gaining a little bit of strength, which is great to see.
Let's go!
I want you to attack them. Resistance rises in the Midwest. Support for the democratic proponents of the Pacific government has been strong in the American Midwest, with several protests on the streets frequent, many of whom appear to be placing blame for the Civil War squarely on the shoulders of General MacArthur. These protests have recently become more organized and have culminated in a widespread uprising across Colorado, quietly funded and equipped through the underground means. Whether these rebels will succeed in opening up a new front for the Civil War remains to be seen. Hemingway's speech. With the American question settled, Ernest Hemingway, the Syndicates delegate to Congress, took the stage. He thanked all those who supported the CSA's cause and called on the socialist world to constantly battle the reactionaries. The speech was received with great applause, especially in the French delegation. Which is going to allow me to get a head of intelligence, or we can keep on saving. I mean, I was going to be saving because I needed to get war economy, but we already have war economy. I mean, the downside to this is only for 90 days. But we are pushing pretty hard on the federal front, so yes, we are going to do it.
Yes, sir.
Not doing anything. Get into the fight. Right, so the
Move out.
Scion units have arrived, so we can pull the Greens away to be a smaller unit, and then you lot can push. Washington will fall slowly but surely. And the units are going to keep bouncing between these two places, which is perfect. Syndicate militias have advanced towards and captured the symbolic capital of the United States, Washington, D.C. They stormed the Capitol building and met strong resistance, but eventually they broke through and the flag of the Combined Syndicates of America now flies over the U.S. Capitol. Let's go and crush these guys. And then we can go and take Dover, protect the crossing into Norfolk, and then we can start pushing the Reds somewhere else, probably like this central area. Though the Reds are going to still be my main attacking force. They'll eventually be the motorized. How's the Navy doing, by the way? We are losing convoys to the American fleet. Though overall we're gaining convoys. Right, I don't need to import this anymore because apparently we have a source of aluminium now. Huzzah! The fall of Denver. Pacific conscripts have been fighting long, difficult skirmishes with the federal government across the Rockies. Today their efforts came to a close as they finally descended on the city of Denver after a large-scale assault across the South Platte River. That was more abortive than I think I've seen before. Two Sicilies have joined the Reichspakt. With the eruption of war in North America, the balance of power suddenly and perhaps irrevocably changed. End of the 1937 Spartacade. The Spartacade has ended, and with it a tremendous success with a great many people enjoying the games. It was a very good move to join the Spartacade in the Olympics of the working class. Right. I want you. New front. With the intention of doing this. Go.
Keep your distance.
Mexican assistance arrives. Our Mexican comrades have agreed to send us additional help. Transported across the border under constant USA and AUS air threats, has recently arrived in our air bases and is ready to be put to use. Ooh, guns. Guns are good.
Let them have it.
Boom. Okay, so the majority of these divisions
Fire.
are going to take over the Scion side, and then we're going to shift the Scions across.
Orders.
Once they've arrived. And then the guys that we have up here, we're going to be a new commander.
Keep moving. Orders. Call in.
We'll have the regular infantry joining them. The bourgeoisie flee to Canada. The bourgeois have decided they will flee to the CSA. Thousands have sought refuge within enemy territory, especially with the illegitimate Canadian government. The thieving scum have taken whatever they could of their stolen wealth that they could carry with them as they have escaped the revolution. Directive 764, the Revolutionary Education Act. To those who are well educated, either formally or through bitter experience, revolutionary thought comes as easily as breathing. However, many of our comrades, whether in the Steel Belt or elsewhere in America, have been lied to their entire lives by the capitalists, and do not understand how the revolution frees them. Many do not give their heart and soul to the revolution, and some even attempt to sabotage our efforts, unaware that we are the only force that truly cares for them. This must be remedied, and our comrades must be deprogrammed. Should we focus on reaching out to those in our territory, keeping our own morale up, or should we spread our message throughout enemy territory and sap their will to fight the liberators? Stability is king. Watch out, I'm about to lose Chicago. No, I'm not. Ooh, St. Louis, that's their capital. Let's go and steal it.
Ready. Ready.
Once this guy's left, we'll march in here and then we can hit them from behind.
Move out.
Like this, in fact. You should definitely be noping out of this one, guys. Okay, the Reds have arrived, so the Scions are now going to have their orders changed. I want them guarding this. And we'll wait until they've arrived. Costa Rica has capitulated. The Costa Rican government has gone into exile and the main forces have capitulated to Panama. Gun in hand. The final act, the Second International Congress. With all important decisions made during the first week, the Congress has moved on to less pressing matters. After 10 days of negotiations, discussion and politicking, the delegates came up with one final act, a declaration of eternal brotherhood and readiness to face the imperialists wherever they may be found. Workers of the world, unite! More stability. Excellent. Oh, I can't get this yet. I have to have gotten uniform and grenades. Alright, let's get uniforms and grenades then. Our forces so far lack a standard uniform. By adapting a standard set of combat fatigues as well as producing a patterned set of mortars, grenades and machine guns, we can keep our boys ready for anything.
Ready to move. Move out. Move out.
See if we can steal Norfolk before the CSA does. Still losing a couple of convoys, but I think generally we're doing okay. Right, we are still building convoys. I'm going to wait until we have like a surplus of 100.
Orders. Ready. Attention.
Oh,
Let
you.
them have it.
Go there.
Attention.
As long as we can hold on to that bit of Norfolk, then they won't cross here. We should be golden. Just checking the Midwest. We're fine. I was expecting this to be a bit of a losing battle. That's not as important as winning the East Coast. The East Coast is where all of the factories and things are. Okay, and that has now been done. Have the Scions arrived yet? Almost. Then as the Scions arrive, I can start moving the Greens further and further in that direction. The Federal collapse! News travelled quickly today that the federal government has collapsed in the American Civil War. While land was formerly under its control, it's been swallowed up by the American factions, and the last remaining federal leaders were reported to have met with generals of the combined Syndicates of America in order to negotiate the terms of the complete surrender. The whereabouts of Douglas MacArthur is unknown, but he is also believed to have already been placed under arrest. The future of the United States, it appears, rests in the hands of the factions which tore it down. And apparently I was the victor. Okay, well...
Keep moving.
Stop. Cancel all of your current orders. And Scion,
Orders.
cancel your orders. So Sion's going to be responsible for this. And then
Keep
Greens as the biggest unit. I don't know that you can necessarily take all of this. In fact, better plan, better plan, better plan. Is it a better plan? Give it a second to let all that rejig.
Attention.